Hello. I am in my studio, which makes me very happy. I've been home Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for 5 days since I had my last back procedure, and I'm starting to find my life again. I have found the kitchen table. I have found the space to do some quilting in here, and eventually I'll be back in my regular filming space, but haven't cleaned that much yet. I've done a lot of quilting though. So leave me a comment when you get here to let me know that the comments are working. And I have a lot to tell you today. There's some new stuff going on, which is great. Um, it has been fabulous being home for the last 5 days. I've quilted a couple hours or many hours each day, getting some work done, doing some videos. So there's more stuff coming, and I just can't wait to get back to my sewing machine. So let's see what's new. Yesterday, let me pull up a picture for you. That's not it. I didn't get all this quite done before I popped on, so hold on a second. And let me share that picture with you. Where are we? Okay, now I can share that. Share screen, window, tab. There we go. So that's what I got to do on Memorial Day yesterday. I got to snuggle with some sheep. Tell me that isn't just the best thing ever. His name is Fritter. So that's pretty cool. Let's see. I'll come back and say hi to you. So Fritter's pretty amazing. Let's see. We have Christy here from Minnesota. Hello. And we have Janet from South Carolina. Hello. And yes, his name is Fritter. So my friend has sheep, and she tells me whenever they're born. So the black one was the last one born. There were 4 white ones, and some of them are pretty chonkos that were born weeks and weeks ago. And this was the latest one. He was only 2 weeks old. And then he ended up just sitting very comfortably on my lap. And I just petted him, and I knew better. So I brought baby wipes in the car because I had so much lanolin from here down. I had a total white stripe where my watch is, just from all the oil. And it was lovely. So I'm not sure if he's actually a descendant of the sheep that I got my sweater yarn from, but it's in the same in the same home. So it was just wonderful to go play with some sheep yesterday in between the raindrops. Now, I'm not sure, we've had some vicious weather, and I feel really bad for folks who've had really vicious weather. We've just had a lot of rain. Let me see if I can get this to brighten up. There we go. We've had heavy rain, and that was while we were in the car yesterday, but it didn't rain while I was with the sheep, and it didn't, because my husband never gets rained on. What is going on with the lighting here? I can get it to go on. Let's see. Is that going to brighten up? Okay. So my husband doesn't get rained on, which is hilarious. The famous one is when my daughter and husband were going college shopping, and they went from school to school. It rained while they were in the car. As soon as they got out, it stopped. As soon as they got back in the car, it started again. So that's just pretty much family lore that my husband doesn't get rained on. So I'm glad he came with me yesterday. I got to play with the sheep because I didn't think playing with the sheep in rain and active mud would have been any more fun. So that was pretty cool. Let's see, what else do I have for you? So I did have a back procedure, my 7th, done on the 14th of May. So 2 weeks ago today. And it's not as good as I wanted it to be. But I can do more than get out of bed and move to the sofa and then not do anything. Oh gosh, this light. I know that I'm in front of the window, but seriously, that sometimes it does better. There we go. Wait, I had it. Did that do it? Okay, we'll try that. So Apparently that little bit of sun right there is a problem. See if I can put a quilt over that. Did that help? Okay. Hopefully by next week I'll be back where I'm supposed to be and the lighting will be better. So my back isn't working great. Bending is still painful. Walking and standing are still painful, but it's not that excruciating. I can't do anything pain. So in other words, I'll take it. I don't really have a choice, but I'll take it because anything better is an improvement. And I'm actually having a fuller life just even having like a 30% pain reduction because I don't have to live on the sofa with a heating pad. So that's lovely. I'm really happy about that. Let's see. Is that helping with the sun? Okay. So hi. Okay, hand must be up. Is that going to do it? Anyway, so that's going on, but I'm grateful for what I got. Thanks for all of your patience through the last 18 months between major COVID, minor COVID, heart failure, and my back giving out. But I'm as good as I'm going to get. So this is what we've got. I am going to be biking later on because biking doesn't hurt. I mean, like it's exercise, and I remember that I did it, but it doesn't hurt like standing does. So that's great. I have to run to the pharmacy, so I'll just take my bike instead. So I can cross off baby lambs. We talked about baby lambs. We talked about my back. We talked about my bike. So I have something new in As the Bobbin Turns. And I'm so grateful for people who have continued to support me because I will be, I'm already working on more content, even though I put some up today. So let me find that pictures for you to tell you what is up that you can look forward to. And let me get another one. Perfect. I will show them to you now. Let's share screen. Share screen. Window. Here. So last week, I talked to you from my sister's house because I was watching my sister's dog and visiting with my mom while my sister was out of town. And I brought along a project that was in a bag. And it was this Rambling Rose meets Jamestown Block of the Month from Marty Michelle from 2006. I had all of the log cabin blocks done, and I had 7 of the 12 pieced blocks done. And then I had the finishing kit, which was borders, binding, etc. So I do not need an 82 by 106 inch quilt or whatever the math ended up on that one. Big, queen size. I hate giving people big quilts because they're commitments. I like giving people throw quilts because they can put them wherever or throw them on a chair or whatever. So I decided to make this quilt. I think this is 63 by 75. When I got home from Pittsburgh Wednesday night, I pieced this together because all those were done. All the blocks in this were done. I also, put the borders on and started basting it. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, I think I finished it Saturday night. So I quilted it Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and I filmed it and put it all together Sunday morning. Got pictures Sunday afternoon, got pictures Monday, and here we are. So I'm tickled that the quilting showed on here because I used a flatter batting. This isn't wool. This is Quilter's Dream polyester. It's a mid-weight, so select, but the quilting really showed nicely on here. Let me give some close-ups. So this is a close-up of how much ribbon candy was in here, and it made me so happy to get back to quilting and quilt all this ribbon candy. And then there are the feathers. So the video on how I did all of this, like if you have a quilt to do, I can show you one way that you can get feathers in those diagonal strips. So there, let's see. Gina from way upstate New York. Now, when my daughter went to school in Buffalo, because I live near Poughkeepsie, my daughter went to school in Buffalo, and she said, how do I tell people where I'm from? And I told her, you have to ask them where they're from first. Because if they're from New York City, we live in Canada. Because in New York City they think Yonkers is upstate, and we're north of that. But if you're really upstate, we live in New York City. So I'm kind of in an in-between. But hello from way upstate to way upstate. See, sandal, pretty quilt, isn't it though? I went through my quilt list of people I want to give quilts to, and I found a woman who's older than I am, and I think those will be perfect for her. So I will send that off to her shortly. And Janet, you love the feathers or ribbon candy? I do too. I quilted it pretty simply, other than the feathers. I mean, the feathers were a little special on there, but the quilting otherwise was pretty simple because the fabric does the work on that quilt. I do have the other 12 blocks. I have 4 more log cabin blocks. I have more borders and stuff. So I'll be putting together a second quilt eventually. But it is next. It is on the make me soon list. So I'm really happy with how it came out. I texted a picture of it to my daughter, and I'm like, I found the perfect quilt for you. And my daughter likes things between black and navy blue. Although she is making, she's a knitter. She's making a scarf that has purple in it because she likes purple, apparently. Like, when are you going to wear that? So she's very, like very dark. She did visit over the weekend, which was nice to see her for a day because she's only a couple hours away. And she brought me yarn. It's like she knows me. Like, she wouldn't pick out quilting fabric, but she's good at picking out yarn. And their local farm up there has a farm to yarn place that works with them. So I have a black skein of yarn, and I have a gray skein of yarn from Black and Gray Sheep. So I may make a hat and gloves later on. It's double knitting, and I'm currently doing a lot with fingering weight, so I'll work on that. Let's see. You like that it'd be Christmassy, but it works the rest of the year too. Yes, I love that. So I really, really like the quilt. I don't really, really need the quilt, but I really, really like the quilt. And the quilt is here and done. Sorry, the light is just terrible, but I'll move over tomorrow and it'll be much better. I mean, for next week, I'll move over. So that is, if you are a member of As the Bobbin Turns, the quilt is already in there. If you aren't a member of As the Bobbin Turns, you can go to debbiebrownquilts.com, click on my online classes, and look for As the Bobbin Turns, and you can subscribe monthly or annually. There was a break, and people were wonderful waiting for videos through all my illnesses. So I'll be putting up a lot of videos in short order, just as a thank you for everyone sticking with me. So I put that in. Okay, next. Last week, I put out the pattern for strawberry placemats. And I don't have a good photo of this, and the light is obviously terrible in here, but I have this basket weave fabric that I love. So I knew I wanted to frame this in basket weave fabric. So I will be quilting these up, and you will be getting a video on that shortly too. Let's see what else. So strawberry placemats. I made 4 of them, but I probably should have made 12. My mother and my mother-in-law both like placemats. I only had 4 red blocks, so I just made those. Excuse me, I have the hiccups. Oh, I was talking about our rain. We had heavy rain, but we are not having the violent weather that folks in the tornado alley are having. And I'm hoping you're all safe and well. There's just a lot. It's a lot. I'll take a rainstorm because we're not flooding. We've had trees down, and when I was driving to and from Mom's, I was seeing trees down on the interstate in central Pennsylvania, but nothing like what y'all are going through down there. So I hope that you're well. Let's see, I have 2 more things. One, I've been playing with my dehydrator, and what you may not know about me is I love gummy bears. Gumdrops, chewy candies, not Skittles, but like gumdrops and orange slices and things like that. So they're not the best for you with the dyes and the sugar. This is dehydrated cantaloupe, and this is dehydrated watermelon. And there's nothing on here. There's no treatment, no chemicals. So these will last about a week. Actually, they'll last about the afternoon because I'm going to have some. So dehydrated watermelon. It's pretty good. It's like really good. So have you played that? Have you played with that? Anybody have a dehydrator that they play with? I don't have my farm this year because they no longer do the community supported agricultural shares. It's just a farm. Now I can ride my bike there. I can go shop there, and that's fine. But as I'm seeing sales at the market, fruit, I have a couple pineapples I'm going to work with next, and mango I've already been through. Quite nice. Really good. Chewy candy. So let's see. Katie, you like those too? Yeah, it's amazing. And I was looking like packaged dehydrated watermelon, packaged dehydrated cantaloupe. And I know for production and for keeping it longer, they have to put treatment on it, and it adds calories. But like an entire cantaloupe is 250 calories, something like that. And there's nothing else on it, which is cool. Let's see who's here. Mary Nielsen, hello. It's good to see you. So that's what I've been doing. And then the last thing, I just finished reading the last 2 books in a series I love, but I got 2 books behind and I don't know how. So I read them since I've been home. I think I started reading one on the way home because when I was driving to Ohio, it was the day after a back procedure. And I had on my spine, and I had a lot of steroids in me because a lot of steroids. And I was so awake and so chattery and everything. So driving there was absolutely no problem. Sure, I can drive to Cleveland, no problem. Driving home from Pittsburgh, I did not have the steroids, which is good. You can't live on steroids. They're really bad for other things, but they're good what they're good for. So about halfway home, I was listening to podcasts, and I was listening to, historical stuff and the origins of this and that and the other thing. And it was a little dry. So I had to pull out the Orphan X series by Greg Hurwitz, series I enjoy on audio. I recently bought the last 2 books, and I've read them from my drive home on Wednesday and finished the last one Sunday, maybe Monday. Finished it yesterday. Anyway, if you haven't read them and you like, it's like spy, like a retired spy assassin who's like a good guy-ish now. So if that's your genre, go for it. Well, he has several rules for living that were part of his training. And rule 3 is master your surroundings, which is what I've been trying to do because I'm cleaning up things that I haven't been able to do since I couldn't bend all of that time. It's amazing the stuff that's on the floor. And number 7 is one mission at a time. And that's what I'm trying to do with quilts. Like, I don't want to pull stuff out and then start something else. I'm trying to go through my finishing piles of quilts that have already been started. Like, this was half started. My color blocks are scrap quilts, and that's kind of a freebie for me that I can do, because that's something that I'm putting out every month. But I am trying to start and finish something without getting, squirrel, and go try something new. Has anyone ever made that promise, and how long have you kept it is what I'm wondering. Because I think I've met one quilter who makes one quilt at a time, like ever. I've heard they exist, but I've only met one of them. But in the last book, there was a quote in there that I thought was fantastic. And he works with a young computer hacker, like 17-year-old girl. That's his ward. And she said, I have a secret for you. I'm not really good at computers. I'm just really bad at giving up. And I thought that was amazing. Like, I should have written it down, and then I kept on listening to the book, and the next day I couldn't remember the quote. So I had to start the book over again at 1.5 speed till I got to the quote, the things I do. But I think that quote is for quilting too. I'm not really that good at quilting. I'm just really bad at giving up. Because if I wanted to do it, I would try it and try it and try it until I got it right. Or until I was happy with it. So as you are on your quilting journey and you're trying and you're learning and you're thinking, oh, I'm not really good at this, or you don't work on being good, work on being bad at giving up. Just keep trying again. And in person, I often show videos of my grandkids learning to walk, learning to ride a bicycle, falling, because I have those videos. And what we don't say to those children is, oh, you're not really good at walking, you should give up. Or no, you're never going to be able to ride your bike. What we say is, good job, try again. And I've always used that example. But I thought this quote was really good. I'm not good at quilting, but I'm bad at giving up. So I wanted to share that with you. Sandal, you're a one quilt at a time girl. How do I like you? How is it that I consider you a friend if you do one quilt at a time? That's just weird. Although I do start piecing another before the quilting the finished tops. Okay. I can see that because I have two machines going, and right now I'm quilting something and I'll immediately bind it because I have a list of the videos and the content I want to get out for you work wise, and then in between I'll do some other things like a little project, like I found a little half finished bag that I want to finish, that sort of thing. But I am trying to, once I touch it, I'm committed to finishing it in a short order. I didn't go. Hmm, I pieced these last night and I basted them. Whoops, upside down strawberries. I pieced these last night and I basted them this morning. And I didn't immediately start quilting it because I didn't want to show you how I'm going to quilt it until I'm done. So I had to stop in the middle for this video to show you the unquilted strawberry. Could I have just taken a picture of it? Yes. Have I completely 100% decided how I'm going to quilt this yet? No. So I do have unquilted strawberries. I'm halfway through quilting another quilt right now. That'll be a video later this month. And then once I'm done, I'll get to work on these strawberries. And then this quilt will be going away in another week or two because I still have a few more things to show you about it. Let's see. Who do we have here? Mary, your 5-year-old Grandy says practice makes progress. It does. As I have a background in music, and one of my instructors at one point said practice makes permanent. So if you practice a mistake 100 times, you're going to always do it wrong. But I try to not apply that to regular life. I just try to keep doing things and getting better every time. Annette, hello, and Kissimmee, I'm glad you're here. It's been a fun quilting day, and I had this whole list of things with my Orphan X rules for living. One of the rules I always follow is don't kill civilians. I don't do that because I'm not in that business. So several of his rules are pretty easy for me to accomplish. But the master your surroundings, which I'm trying to have a clean, workable sewing room, and one mission at a time, one quilt at a time, that I'm doing. So that's what I have for you today. I have a bottle of water. I'm in my bike riding clothes. I'm going to go grab stuff and run to the pharmacy and pick up my prescription. I tried to go yesterday, but the power was out when the storm was there. So I was driving by on my way home from sheep. I hope you had a good weekend. This is, and for those outside the U.S., in the United States, we had Memorial Day yesterday. We made it a 3-day weekend, and that's when we remember our fallen soldiers who have fought to found this country and defend this country. So that's Memorial Day. But it does turn into a 3-day weekend. So today is Monday, which is weird, and I'm not going to know what day it is for the rest of the week. But I will see you again next week. I didn't check this before I got on because I just quilted up until then. Let me see what my calendar is. June. Can you believe it's June? That's crazy. Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, I will be back next Tuesday. At 2:30 New York time. I will be in a place where the lighting is not so weird. This was the best I could hope for today, but I just have a little more moving over there is where I need to move. So I will see you again next week, Tuesday at 2:30 New York time here. Expect a newsletter from me shortly. I'll send links to all the new stuff, and once I get home, I'll write the newsletter, and then I will see you again online next week. Happy quilting, everyone. Take care.